Hello everyone, how you doing? I hope you're all doing really well today. I'm Lindsay, your host of the Heavy Metal Journal and writer for This Day in Metal, and I'm back with New Metal Monday, where I talk about my favourite new releases of the week, and I have 4 brand new albums that I want to talk about, plus another 3 special mentions. Now, before I begin, as always, check out the description box below, where you will find a Spotify playlist, which will feature every single album that I talk about on my New Metal Monday videos. So if you use Spotify, make sure to follow that playlist because I do update that every single Monday before the video goes live, although I forgot to update it last week. I am so sorry about that, but those albums from last week are now in the playlist. But if you don't use Spotify, don't worry about it because I will also include the band's Bandcamp pages or their YouTube pages, just so you guys can find the music that I'm talking about as easily as possible. But like I said, 4 brand new albums and 3 special mentions today, so I'm just going to get on with it. It should not come to anybody's surprise that the very first album that I want to talk about this week is Winterphilith with the Imperious Horizon, and this is the 8th studio album from the atmospheric black metal band from the UK. And this is an icy blast of riff-driven black metal, a barrage of blast beats, and really harsh, vicious melodics with rasping, snarling vocals that are just full of power and impassioned energy. I love absolutely everything about this record. It balances between harsh brutality and beautiful yet dark melodics and atmosphere. This is absolutely everything that you could want from an atmospheric black metal record. It is so densely atmospheric but furious at the same time. The guitar work in this is absolutely unreal, and it is just so addictive and so hauntingly beautiful, but really harsh and really gritty at the same time. It's primarily guttural vocals and growls. I think there's only one song that features kind of the cleaner version of the vocals, but even though they're cleaner, they're still very powerful and very gritty. So if you are a fan of the likes of Sur or Fen, Wolves in the Throne Room, Fell Warden, that kind of atmospheric black metal sound that's infused with folk elements, definitely get onto this one. But basically, if you take that album artwork and apply it to black metal, that is exactly what you get. I've loved this band for many years now, and this new album was just absolutely outstanding and did not disappoint. And this is going to be a huge contender for Album of the Year. Definitely check it out. Okay, so next up on my list I have Crypt Crawler with The Immortal Realm, and this is the 3rd studio album from the Australian death metal band. Now, this is old school death metal infused with a modern metal take, and it's fantastic. It is so ridiculously heavy. The riffs in this are unreal. They're so chugging and so relentless, but the flying solos are insane. It's got a steamroller of blast beats throughout this entire record, and the vocal style is very guttural growls and rasps and screams, chugging bass lines, but there's also an underpinning of slight melodics and some groove in there as well. So it's highly addictive, as well as it being incredibly heavy. But not only that, they also incorporate a little bit of kind of like 80s style horror-esque synths throughout it as well, which just adds that really sinister kind of touch to it. But like I said, this is very addictive, and it alternates between that steamrolling, fast, furious pace, but you've also got those really cool mid-tempo stompy stomps as well, and the more you listen to it, the more you're going to love it. So if you are a fan of the likes of Obituary or Death, Morbid Angel, that kind of sound, but with a little bit more of a modern take on it, definitely get onto this one. This was a really cool death metal album, and it's one of my favourite death metal albums of the year so far. Okay, so next up on my list is something a little bit different, and this is a direction that I don't normally go in, but I'm really glad I did because I fell in love with this album to the point that one of the tracks almost reduced me to tears. I'm not even joking, and that's Oceans of Slumber with Where Gods Fear to Speak, and this is progressive heavy metal from the US. this. Now, there's something for everybody on this record, and they incorporate a lot of different styles, not just metal. There's a little bit of soul in there, there's a little bit of black metal, death metal, but it is very, very heavy on the progressive side of things, but also the melodies as well. So you do have blistering blast beats in this, you have some stellar, excellent guitar work in this as well, and the chugging bass lines are really cool too. But it kind of alternates, like I said, because it's progressive, you have quite a lot of different time changes and signatures, but it's a very dynamic record and it's very catchy and very enticing. But the thing I really liked the most about this record was the vocal style. Cami has such a talent for really enticing you and drawing you in with her soulful, passionate energy. These vocals are clean, they're powerful, soaring, and so emotive, and they speak to your soul. But not only that, yes, it is primarily her clean singing throughout, but when those guttural growls come into play, every so often, not much, but every so often, they really emphasize each other, and it just makes the entire record explode. It's absolutely fantastic. This isn't anything like I normally listen to, but I'm really glad I picked up on this record, and I've listened to it a fair amount of times over the weekend, to the point that their cover of Chris Isaak's Wicked Game, that had me almost in tears. It is such a beautiful cover of an already amazing track. So if you are a fan of the likes of, this is difficult because like I said, this isn't like anything I've ever listened to, but if you do like Devin Townsend, or if you do like Catatonia, with a little bit of Isan thrown in there, King Crow and Opeth, that kind of progressive sound that has various different layers in it, definitely check this one out. Plus that album artwork is absolutely beautiful. Okay, so next up on my list, I am probably going to pronounce this incorrectly, but I'm going to give it my best shot. And if I do pronounce it incorrectly, I apologise, but here we go. I have Taur-Im-Duinath with Verso Casa, and this is atmospheric black metal from Italy. And yes, this is a solo project. I love these solo projects that are coming out, and this one is no exception. Now, the eagle-eyed among you, pun totally intended here, will realise that this band is named after that expansive, vast forest that you will find in Middle Earth, which is very dark and very gloomy, and that is exactly the kind of style you're going to be getting with the music here. This is amazing, atmospheric black metal at its absolute finest, and it's centered around themes of identity, belonging, and what makes you feel at home. What does home mean? What does that entail? So it's a very dense, thought-invoking album, and it is absolutely stunning. A sonic soundscape of black metal shrouded in an air of gloomy darkness and melody. This is a very enticing, addictive black metal record full of grandiose, opulent atmosphere and haunting theatrics. I absolutely adored this, but it is very enticing, it's very haunting and beautiful, but it is so heavy. The riffs are relentless, the drums are insane, and the vocals are terrifying, but in the best way possible. This record is just furious. It's furious and impassioned and just a stellar work of art. But it also incorporates a little bit of death metal every now and again, a lot of neo-folk elements as well, and it's a very dynamic, multi-layered record, but it is through and through very atmospheric black metal. So again, if you are a fan of the likes of Wolves in the Throne Room, Fell Warden, Sur, that kind of sound, much like Winterphilith, you're definitely going to want to get onto this one. And I really wanted to mention this one because I know everybody was really excited about Winterphilith coming out this week, but don't sleep on this one either. This is another fine example of a black metal solo project. Definitely get onto this one. Now, those were my 4 main albums that I wanted to recommend this week, but like I said at the beginning of the video, I've got 3 quick mentions as well just before the video ends. And the first one is the new Flatsome and Jetsome record, I Am the Weapon. This is the band's 16th studio album, I believe, and they are the most underrated thrash metal band, which is absolutely insane because they are phenomenal. Huge riffs, flying solos, catchy grooves, thunderous drums, really strong, powerful vocals. If you like your thrash metal, definitely get onto this one if you haven't checked it out already. Plus, that album artwork is pretty cool. I love dragons. Not gonna lie, I think that's pretty obvious with the kinds of albums that I recommend on a weekly basis, but I just wanted to give this album a little bit of love as well, because Flatsome and Jetsam, like I said, seem to be the world's most underrated thrash metal band, and they deserve more love, so definitely check it out. Now, these next two albums that I want to quickly mention are more of a palate cleanser, especially this next one that I'm about to talk about. And that's Zetra with Zetra, their self-titled album. And this is darkwave, synthwave, synth rock. Yes, there's metal elements peppered throughout, but this brings out the other side of my music taste. So if you're a fan of the Paradise Lost side project Host, or if you like Gary Newman, that kind of sound, I'm a huge Newmanoid. I absolutely adore Gary Newman. Definitely check this out. It has a lot of synthwave in it. It's very catchy, very serene, haunting, clean vocals. But you do get a little bit of growls in the background as well, just to back that up a little bit. Very catchy, very dark, very enticing. Definitely check this one out. Even if it's just something different, a wee bit of a palate cleanser, like I said. Don't sleep on this one. This is a really cool record to listen to. And the last one that I want to mention is Kandra with A Frame of Mind. And this is very much a folk metal record. This record is beautiful. Yes, there's gritty guitars throughout it. It's very, very melodic, but the vocals are so serene, so haunting, and so beautiful. They take a lot of inspiration from the Nordic styles, especially the likes of Wardruna. They actually blew up on YouTube because they covered Wardruna's Helvegan, which is beautiful, by the way. You should definitely check it out. But this is such a stunning, beautiful record. It really calms you down. It really puts you in a place of peace. Lots of huge Nordic influences and folk influences, and it's just an absolutely stunning record. If you are a fan of the likes of Murker but without the black metal elements, yes, the guitars are still very gritty and very powerful, but it doesn't take on the form of black metal. It's still very Nordic and very folk inspired, and it's a very soft yet powerful record. There's a little bit of ASMR throughout it as well, which is just absolutely stunning, and when I listened to it, it gave me the impression of a small cottage in a mountainous landscape with rolling fields, beautiful scenery, pottering about in your kitchen, making yourself an herbal tea, and it's just very, very relaxing. But this is a beautiful record. There's guitar elements in it, there are metal elements, but it does really focus on that relaxing Nordic folk side of things. It's an absolutely stunning record, and I cannot stop listening to it. Definitely check it out. And that's it for this week's, yet again, very rambly New Metal Monday video. Now, I'm trying to change the format up a little bit here, because even though I'm talking about the things that I love on this channel, I want the channel very much to be about you guys as well. So, much like my interviews that I do for This Day in Metal, I really prefer them to be kind of like an informal chat that friends would have over a cup of coffee, which I also have in my hands here, rather than kind of like a very formal question answer session. And I kind of want this channel to be like that as well. So if you prefer like the informal kind of style where I'm just sitting down with a cup of coffee and rambling nonsense about the music that I love in the hopes that you're going to like it too, let me know. But if you prefer more of the formal professional side of things, if you will, let me know as well. I just want this channel very much to be about you guys. And if there's anything else that you guys want to see as well, because I am very aware that I've just been doing New Metal Monday videos recently because life has just been absolutely hectic. And I am very aware that this video has went up late this week, and I hate being inconsistent, so I'm really sorry about that. But if there's anything else that you guys want to see or anything that you want me to do, let me know and I will definitely see what I can do. But like I say, as always, make sure to leave a comment to let me know what you think of today's records. And if there's anything else that you want to recommend, let me know and I'll definitely get it checked out. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you very soon in my next video.